everyone. Welcome back to another LinkedIn live session with me. And I hope you're not sick of me yet. And if you're an avid learner, a lifelong learner, then thank you so much for making time to join me again on LinkedIn Live. And in this week, we're trying to focus on personal branding. So we had a panel discussion last Monday, and today I'm going to bring forward three more experts from all over the world to actually share their opinions about personal branding and the power of personal branding. So, for those of you who have been trying out personal branding, putting in effort with multiple strategies, and if you're not getting results or you're struggling right now to even put yourself out there, there's a lot of questions that you can address today. As the experts share their experiences, we also want to cover more questions and helping you and guiding you to do better with your personal brand, especially online. Now, before we get started with the panel discussion, I just want to say hi to those of you who made time. Thank you so much. And please leave in the comment section where you're logging in from. It'll be interesting to know where you're logging in from. And for now, I'm going to go through a little bit about Spendless Academy just to introduce to you a little bit about my company and what we advocate for, basically. So, one second as I share my website. So Spendless Academy is actually an educational platform. So as you can see on my screen, this is how our website looks like. And basically you can sign up for any webinar absolutely free of charge and connect with global experts. So those experts that's listing 1 hour webinars basically are sharing trending business topics for both professional as well as personal development. So whatever you want to learn, there might be a webinar listed there for you. And all you need to do is book a seat, attend it for free, connect live with the global expert, and probably follow up and do one-to-one mentorship, consultation, or ask them further advice. They're on the platform so that they can add value to you, and you need to take advantage basically to learn from what they know because they're sharing their real experiences in real time. So as you can see on the screen, for example, just running through under the webinar section, there's a lot of upcoming courses that I can see for myself. Now, all of these are about only 1 hour long, and there's no pressure. You don't need to turn on your camera or your microphone. You simply need to be there, connect with them through chat, and if need be, book them through coaching calls on the platform itself. So here are just some of the titles that might interest you. Let's read some of them. My family's battle with COVID, or this will be interesting for those of you who would be impacted by this. Business model canvas, how to market yourself, the journey after finding a niche, strategies as an online seller, how to dress smart in a casual workplace, long-term brain health decision making, and how to be a corporate trainer, what personal branding is the best investment. So as you can see, there is hundreds of webinars that you can attend absolutely free. And if you graduate, which means after sitting through the whole 1 hour, you can also download your e-certificate, and Spendless Academy will be rewarding you US $10 credit in your user credit. So in your user account, you will have this credit that you can continue to accumulate and one day offset them for our online workshops and corporate classes. So that's all about Spendless Academy, which is giving you more the reasons on why you should start, upskilling, upgrading, and learning new things from global experts all over the world. So thank you, Kelvin, for joining us. Thank you so much. So we're really getting started to start our conversations. I'm going to bring the experts on board and we can start the interaction right away. Do not hesitate to ask us any questions. And if you want to share your personal experiences or challenges or struggles, we want to hear you. Hi, everyone. How are you?
Hello.
Hello, Leza.
Perfect.
Hi, Leza.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And the crowd is coming in from all over the world. And of course, as you know, personal branding is the topic that everybody wants to talk about. And only because people want to improve, obviously, how to do personal brand better online and offline. So I'm going to start with introduction. So if let's start with Dr. Rashid. If you could tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
Thank you very much, Leza, for the opportunity. And I want to thank Spendless Academy as well for giving me this chance to showcase my experiences and my ideas to the public. So my name is Dr. Rashid. I am an engineer, a lecturer, and a public speaker. At the moment, I am a postdoctoral research scientist with the University Technology Petronas here in Malaysia. I had my PhD in civil engineering, and the rest of my degrees, I had them in Nigeria because I'm a Nigerian. Mm-hmm. So technically, I'm a communication expert. Actually, I target students, lecturers, and professionals. And my major message is how to share tips and tricks on how we can actually create the best connection with our audience and leave a long lasting impression while we deliver our message. So that's a bit about me. Back to you, Lisa.
Thank you so much. Since you're a public speaker, and I know a lot of people also aspire to be one, there's definitely a lot of knowledge we can get from you later on. Pia, how about you? If you could introduce yourself and tell us more about what you do.
Sure, Leza. Good morning. I I'd like to start a bit different. I'm a business growth strategist by profession and a solution delivery enthusiast by choice. I am passionate about creating sustainable solutions for businesses, and I do that by targeting and eliminating the root cause of the problem. So, lean is kind of what I live by. I'm in the business of business solutions that sell, and I'm soon launching a bespoke range of chemical free handmade soaps that a bunch of my existing clients already swear by. So, hello, my name is Pia Singh. I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Leza, and thank you, Spendless Academy, for giving me this opportunity to share with the audience that what personal branding can do for them.
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that experiences. We want to find out more later on since you're representing small businesses. So, what are you guiding them as well with their personal brand to grow their company? I really believe now founders have to, they cannot hide behind the closet. Founders have to step up, and they are the one at the best advantage of using their personal brand to establish concrete relationship with business partners. Sonia, how about you tell us a little bit? You're logging in from Hong Kong. How's Hong Kong, and as well as
Yes. Hello, everyone, and thank you for this invitation for this panel discussion. And I'm currently based in Hong Kong. We are all fine. And then let me introduce myself for a bit. So for the past few years, I worked as a digital marketing consultant, and I focus on content strategy, advertising, and also app marketing. And I help startups to acquire users using different mix of marketing channels. And right now, I am also a personal branding coach because I came across this trainer program in, I think it's early this year. And because I have to highlight this, because I have been using LinkedIn for 5 years. And only after I joined the trainer course, I finally know how to use like LinkedIn properly and how to stand out of the crowd. So I'm very excited to share what my takeaway with all you guys. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sonia. Just to top up, actually, Sonia was one of my students in my
Yes.
personal branding coaching course, and I qualified her as a coach. And instantly, she's making five-digit figures. So I heard her story, and I'm really happy for her. And I know that personal branding can really change our lives. As well as Sonia, you come from a digital marketing background, so you're helping clients to also do analytics to understand the metrics, the results of what they do online, which is important, right? How can we
Yeah.
put out something, a strategy, but we don't know how to measure back? So definitely something we want to touch on later. So let's start with the first question because people are now, they don't really understand what personal branding is. There's a lot of definition going around. So I want to hear your definition and what you think it is. So what does it mean, Dr. Rashid, to personal brand, and what is the first step an individual has to do to build their personal brand?
Okay, thank you very much, Lisa, again for the opportunity. To me, actually, personal branding, I align it with, say, a self positioning. Yeah, I look at it from that angle. Self positioning, self packaging, or elevating your credibility, trying to differentiate yourself from the crowd. So it starts by finding your uniqueness and trying to increase your circle of influence. So the whole idea is to try as much as you can to maximize your impact in whatever you do, so you can get the best benefit to the society or to the target audience you are targeting. So it all involves allowing yourself to find out your uniqueness. What do you want the people to know you for? What's your calling? Yeah. What's your magic? if you can put it in that way. What's that thing that only you can do, right? Then allow yourself to be known with that quality, right? So it's kind of, to me, I view personal branding from like the mission statement of a company. So it actually, it gives you that feeling that, okay, let's say the genesis of it all is to just answer the big question: what problem do you solve? What are you solving? What are you bringing on board? You know. So to me, I think the first step for everyone to kind of practice personal branding is to start by understanding what is your message actually. What is your message and what is your target audience? So that's the first step actually. Then you can go ahead and carry out, for example, an online audit, an audit of yourself on the social media footprint. Okay, because social media nowadays is a lifeline of any personal brand. So I would say you could start in that angle to be able to bring out the best part of you, and then you can showcase yourself to the world.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rashid. You really mentioned about being very clear, having that clarity on two things: what you're good at, or what you're passionate, or what is your message. And secondly, it's about knowing who you're going to attract, right? Even if you know what you can do well, but you attract the wrong person, it just doesn't make sense because it can never monetize or benefit you. So clarity is very important, everyone. If you do have any questions for our experts, feel free to drop in a comment as well. We'll address them later. Pia, how about you? What does it mean to personal brand, and what is your first step in building a personal brand?
Okay, Lisa, before we answer this question, can we do a small rapid fire kind of a thing between ourselves and the audience, if it is okay?
I'm not sure if you want to do a fire audience. The audience are partially engaged at the moment because it's still building up engagement. So I'm not sure
No
whether you
problem.
get
Let's
responses.
let's then do it amongst ourselves, okay? Like I'll just say a couple of words, and I want you to type the name of the person, or say the name of the person who pops in your mind first, right? So, what about tennis? What name pops to your mind when you hear tennis?
Tennis as a sport, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I am
Is there
so
any
bad.
person you can identify
Yeah,
tennis
that's the
with?
problem.
Okay, what about cricket? Right?
Really,
What
we're
about
not
travel to Mars?
Ah,
Uh,
What
Elon
about
Musk.
smartphone? Absolutely. What about smartphone?
I mean, definitely Steve Jobs.
Mm.
What about a magical academy for kids?
No, I don't
No,
know.
Hogwarts? Okay. See, that right there is an example of personal brand. You have a personal brand regardless if you consciously design it or not. Right? According to me, your brand is not just your colors, your tagline, your digital business card, your fancy graphics, logo, or probably a sweet looking set of memes and animated videos, right? Your brand is who you are. It is what you stand for. Your brand is your promise to the world and your customers, right? It is about what you are going to offer to them and how you are going to deliver on. Your brand is everything that you do online and offline. It is what you say, where you say it, how you say it, who you say it to. It is where and how you comment on LinkedIn, probably, or Instagram, or Twitter, or Facebook, or even Reddit, right? Your brand is the images you post. Your brand is the filters you use on Instagram. Your brand is the hashtags you use, the people you tag in your post. Your social and digital body language will speak so much louder than your words. You can spend months creating the perfect message and the brand platform. However, if you are not living your brand online and offline, the words eventually will mean nothing. Right. So people will take a decision in as little as 8 to 10 seconds if they like you or not. Every brand impression matters. And it is these small things that combine together to form your personal brand, right? Although we cannot control our brand perceptions, we can certainly influence them if we take time to understand how. So, regarding the second part of the question, the first step, it is, I call it the first commandment in building a personal brand. It is to know yourself, right? Who are you? What are you passionate about? What are your strengths? What are your limitations? What problems can you solve? So once you answer these questions, you map your capabilities and skills to create a solution that the market wants. And if there is a gap, you upskill. So that, according to me, is the first step. Know thyself, know yourself.
So definitely, it reminds me a lot recently as well when I was learning about image branding. You are right because it's not just about doing what everybody does, okay, but also it's a combination of your appearance, communication, your behavior, your digital presence, even how you respond to people, who you decide to connect to, how you dress, even how your voice or intonation of your voice when you go online. Everything forms something that people want to be attracted to, and when people like you to an extent, that's all they think of. They think of you when they want to get solution for something they know you're good at. So it's making people walk away remembering you and what you do best. Thank you so much, Pia, for sharing. Sonia, how about you? What does it mean to personal brand and your first step to building a personal brand?
I would describe personal brand in a different way. Like I'm a really love to read books a lot. So I would describe everyone as a book, and personal brand is your book cover. Even though you know a lot, but it is like inside your head, inside your mind. People don't know much about your background, but what they know is what you present to the world. So apart from like the first step is definitely right. You have to understand your personal strength, who you are. You have to search inside first. That is the first step. But what's the next step you have to think about is what you want the others to see you, what you want the world to think about you. For example, when I first start developing my personal brand, I struggle a lot. Am I a translator? Because I come from a translation background. Am I a digital marketer? Because I want to pursue the digital marketing path. So finally, I search inside, and then I also think about what I want the others to see me as an expert. What kind of opportunity do I want to attract? So that is how I process like my journey on developing my personal brand. And then I think the first step to build a personal brand is to be bold. Be bold to show yourself on LinkedIn. Be bold to show your story to the world. If you're not brave enough, you care a lot about what the others think. Oh, Sonia is too showy. Oh, she show off all the time. Then you'll never make the first step. Yeah, that's my little experience on how I develop my personal branding.
Thank you so much. I believe that if showcase yourself as a book cover, as an expert, the impression you want people to take note of, like Dr. Rashid said, as your uniqueness. Everyone has some skill, competency, and character that makes you unique, and that's what you need to tell people. But also, I think being bold is important because a lot of us, maybe you guys know somebody as well who's like, oh, I'm so scared to put myself out there. What would the world think, right? It's not just my family, it's the world we're talking about. What would they think of me? So that is the fear that stops people or stops them halfway after they get started. And that's the problem because PT needs to be a consistent process. So now talking about limitation, because I'm sure you've come across people who are limiting themselves right now, although you want to tell them it is important, you have to do this. So what can what is limiting a person from doing it? And another thing as well, I want to know for you who have done personal branding yourself, what kind of opportunities came back to you? I'm curious. What did you get out of putting yourself out there? So, Dr. Rashi, let's start with you.
Thank you very much once again, Lisa. Actually, there is quite a lot you can gain from involving yourself in personal branding. You can let's start by elevating your boosting your image, online image, for example. You can increase your credibility. You can grow your career. For example, in LinkedIn, you can showcase yourself and what qualities, what achievements you have. This is a professional platform. You can even use personal branding to generate sales, and you can gain collaboration and partnerships from branding yourself. People will know that, yeah, This guy has a focus, he has a direction, and your message is clear to them. So they can easily approach you and do business with you very easily. And then you can generate income. So you can generate employment opportunities to yourself, and at the big picture, you can say you can expand your professional network in this at the same time while you do personal branding. So to me, I look at personal branding as a way to help yourself, or it puts you kind of in a way to personal development. Let me say like that. Let me put it this way, because it keeps on challenging you to be better. Once you put yourself out there, you will be challenged to be a better person, to keep updating yourself with the current trend, to try and move out of your comfort zones. Okay, so your vision is going to be very clear once you start. Okay, you're going to have vision well defined. Okay, it will help you to focus and give you the agility to move and achieve your goals and targets. Okay, so but in my own view, why people don't actually do personal branding is uh, I can say fear of the unknown, or to some degree fear of what the other people might say about you. So that can actually limit you, because there are two different part of the story. There is always what the world wants you to be and what you are designed to be. Okay, so we always tilt towards what the world wants us to be, and we forget about our gift, our calling, and our talent. Okay, so and then there's these lies we always tell ourselves when it comes to personal branding. You hear people say, I'm too young for this. I'm too old for this. People say things like, I don't have money for this, or I'm not qualified to do this. Oh, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm skinny. I cannot do personal branding. Oh, I don't have time. All these are flimsy excuses we give to ourselves just to remain in the comfort zone. And
I
I
totally
think we can, yeah, yeah.
Thank
Let me
you so
give you a
much for
chance to
sharing.
others.
I really believe we give ourselves excuses whenever we are faced with something that we've never done before or something that is new. We try to get out of it, right? Because I heard somewhere people say our brain is programmed to automatically turn off the safety mode, okay, when we feel something we're going into danger or unknown. But exactly, I think that stops a lot of people about being judged by the world. That's what they're really afraid of. Yeah, how about yourself? What your personal brand has contributed to you? What kind of opportunities you want to share, as well as what do you think is limiting a person, or maybe once upon a time you were limited at some point? What were the reasons?
Right. Thanks, Liza. That's actually a very, very important question. What personal branding can help us achieve? In one word, everything. Whether you are a professional, whether you are in job, whether you are starting up, whether you have a business and now want to expand it. So it's been 15 years and I have worked in corporates, I've worked with government, and I'm working with small businesses now, like the SMEs now. So there is a shift. Okay, I am actually seeing people who are sitting to define who am I, and I've not seen that in last decade. Okay, now people are sitting, now people are trying to define who am I, and that's how I started. I needed to understand who am I, and gives you so much of clarity, right? Personal branding basically gives you an open playground, whether it is for your growth, for your visibility, for networking. If you are a startup, you can test ideas, you can do primary research, you can ask people questions, you can do a feasibility analysis, you can test your hypothesis before you build a prototype. Then you can have users who can use this, you can have beta testing going on. So all this is possible now. And just when we sit in the comfort of our home, we can get clients, we can increase revenue, we can learn new skills, right? We can get in touch with thought leaders in the industry, and most importantly, we can build a place for ourselves. And that is something that was not possible earlier. It took people a lot of time and effort to know where they fit in the puzzle, in this whole jungle of digital presence. Where do you fit in? So I guess your personal brand is made of perception, as well of how people interpret your actions, your words, your digital behaviors, like you were mentioning, Leza. And you can't really control their perceptions, right? You cannot control their perceptions with fancy graphics or logos or taglines and scripted videos with perfect words. Believe me, I've tried that. It does not work. Okay. So it was more about being there authentically, sharing what I know, helping people. There were a lot of people who were on the journey that I am today and where I am. And then, there were few things that you pass through, and then you help people and tell them that, okay, I encountered this, and this is probably how you can navigate through this. So, it's so much more than a perfect profile photo on LinkedIn, fancy logo, or well-rounded professional summary and snazzy content that you post all on the top of the social networks on a daily basis. It definitely helped me understand who I am. What I can do for the world. What can I offer to the world? And before we answer the second part of the questions, it is important to understand the milestones in a personal branding journey. So we start with identifying, what's your story? For that, you need to know yourself. Again, where we started. Then you have to build your story. So when you build your story, basically it is about developing your story. You have to create your identity. Then you have to market your story. You have to tell your story. You have to make it visible. And there is one small part which people often oversee. I know I did, was to nurture. You have to keep your story fresh. You have to stay motivated. You have to be consistent, right? And with these things come human limitations, right? If we have lack of clarity about ourselves, about the process, about the tools, about the strategy, about the plan, about the market, and most of all, that sweet, sweet comfort zone that keeps us from experimenting, they're all beliefs, right? Then there are personal assumptions and biases and the expectations you set out with, which Dr. Rashid has very beautifully covered. Whether it is falling for the social vanity metrics, is how many likes am I getting? Oh my God, just 2 likes. I'm not doing well. Let me change the things. Or probably those unreasonable timelines, expectations of overnight fame, or even if you hire somebody for branding, you just want that magic wand. So I guess those are the limitations. We need to set our expectations right. We need to give ourselves time. Like Rome was not built in a day, right? And branding is an ongoing process. It is not something that you take it from here, put it here, and it is created. It evolves. So I guess, according to me, those are the limitations that a person would face, and it would basically stem from lack of clarity about things or yourself.
Thank you, Pia, for mentioning about being authentic and being honest. Obviously, I think that's one of the things that limit people because they're not ready to share their story, which is actually the key to resonating with someone else. So you did cover the next question as well. So but actually, not to worry. I'm moving on the same question with Sonia. Can you let me know what your personal brand has contributed to you so far, clients or whatever, and what is limiting people from actually doing it?
I think personal branding to me is a long term investment, but also interestingly, it's a fast track of how I can get to my goals. From my experience, I start using LinkedIn since I'm an undergraduate, and it attracts a lot of internship opportunity to me. Like some top management of the startup company, they reach out to me through LinkedIn text like, "Hi Sonia, would you like to have a coffee meet?" And this is something that I couldn't imagine. And it's like, yeah, I have to do more on LinkedIn. Yeah. And then after I graduate, and I don't even have to send out a lot of resume. Like the opportunity keep coming to me, like on LinkedIn. And I also, what I find very useful after I start my agency is the network. Because I keep posting like my entrepreneur journey, my story, my struggle on my LinkedIn profile, and some really good mentors. I can understand why they're so kind, and they just reach out to me. They don't even like my post, but they reach out to me through inbox. They just say, yeah, you can do like what. They even send some like material, some reference to me, like the blue ocean strategy. And they also recommend me what kind of niche market I can tap into as a new business owner. And I find that leveraging all this network, leveraging the others, like maybe they have 20 years of experience, and then this really these are really an invisible assets to me. This is much valuable than having a job offer as an entrepreneur. And then all these kind of resources are free. And then these are really, I think this is what I find personal branding so powerful to me, because I'm actually an introvert. I don't go social network a lot in the reality. So having a personal branding on LinkedIn can bring me a lot of this kind of online opportunity, which can convert to face-to-face chat, to coffee meets. And then I think what limiting a person from doing it, not just the mindset of staying in the comfort zone, but also they don't know the technique to start off. Like for example, when I just like searching online what is the strategy I can use on LinkedIn, people just say, oh, share some industry news. And then okay, I just posting news every day, but no one's liking my post. There's no engagement. And then after I joined Lisa's program, she actually have a list of guiding questions that I understand more about what I can share on LinkedIn. What is my niche? What is my story? What is the valuable part that I can show the world? Yeah, that is what I have been like through from I'm still an undergraduate student to right now I have my own business. And then this is what I can think of how personal branding can contribute to me as a person. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. It also sounds like attraction marketing. When you put yourself out there, people get attracted to you, so they make the first contact. I agree with Kia mentioning earlier as well, saying that basically personal branding can be everything. Because at the end of the day, right, for anybody to give us any opportunities, it has to be a person. A robot is not going to create an opportunity for us. It's a person. So if you get in close with a person, have a relationship with your personal brand, anybody can open any kind of door anytime you want. The question is about knowing who to target and stuff like that. So when I went on LinkedIn, my target was just investors. That's all I know I need to build enough authority, credibility, tangible track record in order to get there. It takes time, but when you finally meet the person that you want, it is enough because that's what you need. So moving on to the next question. Now the problem is, it's a good problem. Everyone is doing it. Everyone's doing personal branding. So now you are competing with your peers, so your competitors in the market. So the question is, how do we set ourselves apart? I know we're unique. You know, we don't have the same hairstyle, we don't have the same way of talking, but still, is there any tips that you can give to make people stand out and set themselves completely apart and not to bother about matching what other people is doing? So, Dr. Rashid, your tip on how we set ourselves apart.
Thank you, Leza. My own view, actually, I don't look at it as a competition because I literally compete with myself. I don't compete with others. So what I see is it's all bounds down to your own ability to upscale yourself at all the time, trying to keep in mind what is happening around you in the contemporary world and keep updating yourself and giving value to yourself. Because I do believe that people don't do businesses with companies. They do businesses with people they trust, right? People do businesses with people they trust. So it's all about you delivering excellent service, trying to create a very perfect connection and interpersonal relation with your customers. This could be in terms of going extra mile to provide services to them, and even trying to enhance your customer relations, trying to enhance the quality of the product or services you provide to them. So I see this competition from the personal point of view. You compete with yourself, so try to always look around what is happening in the contemporary world. Then try to come back inwards and try as much as you can to update, to keep updating, to keep investing in yourself so that you can be better tomorrow, you can be better tomorrow while keeping in mind what is happening around. Not for the competition, but for you to have an idea into what you should concentrate on the next time you want to update yourself. So it's all about that. It's all about creating connectivity. It's all about going the extra mile to give that touch to your customers. And I assure you, they will come back to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rashid.
Absolutely.
That's an excellent advice, okay? Because you want to monitor what people is doing, but not to feel defeated by what they do or progress. You want to then focus it on yourself, upgrade yourself, do better. And like you said earlier, once you establish a relationship with the connection, ask yourself what can you do better. You'll go beyond, and give something extra that maybe they don't get from another provider. And that's how you maintain the long-term client relationship from your personal brand. Pia, very quickly from yourself, how do we set ourselves apart? You mentioned earlier just now about sharing authentic stories.
Yes, Leza. Actually, Dr. Rashid has said it wonderfully. In fact, the only competition you have is yourself, and the only goal you have is to become the better version of yourself every day, each day, right? I'd like to quote Oscar Wilde here. He said, "Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken." Right. So the beauty of the personal branding is that it is person specific. And the truth of the nature is that no two people are alike. So when we define our personal brand the right way, it will automatically be the unique value proposition that we can offer the world. Right? That is something that I feel is major criteria that can set us apart from competition. All we need to know is now share, how to share it to the world. The process of personal branding can involve finding your uniqueness, building a reputation on the things that you want to be known for, and then allowing yourself to be known for them. Ultimately, I guess the goal is to create something that conveys a message and that can be monetized. So, if I'm going to ask you one question, and I want you to think about it for a few moments. What do you want to be known for? Right? If someone mentions your name, business, or brand, what do you want them to say? Like, say, when I define myself, I say that, when people talk about me, I want them to say, oh, you want the solution? Go to Pia. Right? My friends have given me a title of being the key maker. So whenever they have any bottleneck or whenever they have any problem that needs a solution, they come to me. The businesses, other than consulting them for branding or scale ups, when they have other aspects that get stuck, they know that they can count on me to get them out of it. Right? So, some people can answer this question of what do you want people to say about you in a matter of seconds, while it might take others a lifetime to figure out. Right? So, let me start by stating that personal branding is not just for someone who owns a business. It is also essential for every influencer, every business coach, or the person who wants to share their story with the world, right? Whether you want to be the god of entrepreneurs, whether you want to be most entertaining speaker, or as a person who spends their life volunteering and giving back to the community, there is no wrong answer. Right? If you want to make an impact in the world, a branding strategy is definitely the place to begin.
Thank you so much, Pia, for sharing that with us. That's really, really great advice as well. I'm going to move on quickly, Sonia, to you as well. How do we set ourselves apart from our competitors?
Sure. I will bring in a new perspective as a marketer because, for digital marketing or traditional marketing, the first step when I shape a plan is to do competitor analysis. So when I start off like developing my personal brand, I actually look up to the people that I admire. For example, the expert in this industry. What are they sharing? What are they posting? What is the frequency they're posting? And just before this panel discussion, I have looked up to some data for LinkedIn, although there are a lot of people using, they have more than 700 million members right now, but only 3 million of them are sharing content on weekly basis. So as a new beginner, if you only share content on weekly basis, you're already ahead of a lot of people. So consistency is a key to share content on. I'm not saying like you have to post every day, but at least maybe on weekly basis or bi-weekly basis, just like doing it step by step. And then I also think that looking into data is very important. For LinkedIn, you can look up to a lot of measures, not just for the number of comments, but you can also understand the landscape of your audience. For example, what are the market, what is the location, what kind of industry they are um, they're staying in, what is their title, so you can understand more about what is the current market you're attracting, and then compare to what is the target market you're targeting. For example, oh my god, I'm attracting a lot of local people, but actually my market is on overseas. I want to attract more UK company. So you understand you have to shape your strategy. So by doing all this kind of comprehensive analysis, you can definitely set apart from those competitors that just posting content without a strategy. Yeah.
Thank you so much for mentioning that. You did mention about consistency, and I think our other experts would agree on this as well, because like Tia said, we have to nurture our network. If we're telling them about us on a Monday and don't talk about us another year from now, people like people will remember the story. So it needs
Yeah.
to build up. And if you coming from a digital marketing perspective, because you're talking about numbers, and of course, if it
Mm.
doesn't work, if you realize you're targeting the wrong audience, you can immediately change your strategy or content,
Yeah.
because you need to go closer to your network. So the next question will come, which is the most interesting question. Now that we talk about data, results, measuring key metrics, we want to make money. Okay, people are not going to spend 1 year posting every day to make $0. People have a hope, okay, that if I put myself out there, I have some value that I can trade with, and I want to earn a living out of my personal brand. So, Dr. Rashid, from you first, how can we monetize? We want to make money, and it's nothing bad, I guess, right? It's not because we're money-minded. Again, we really want to do business. How soon can we start doing it, and how can we do it?
Thank you very much again, Lisa. I actually, when it comes to personal branding, uh, doing what you like or engaging in your calling can start actually from the passion point of view. You look at it as a passion project, so you start as something free, you deliver, you showcase your value to the outer world. And then gradually, based on the level of acceptance and level of engagement with the crowd, you will begin to understand that yes, I think it's time to upscale a little more, to go professional, to be able to open up to people, to commercialize this, to monetize this my idea. Because people are actually very ready to pay for premium content as far as it provides value to them, right? So it all depends on what kind of value are you providing to the people, and they will, I assure you, subscribe to gain what you have. If you successfully build a brand, people would like to pay you to see how you did it. You know, what are the processes? What are the challenges you faced? How did you accomplish this? Let me give you a very simple example. I have no prior IT background. I'm not a web designer, but last 3 weeks I designed my one of my websites, epicmentorship.org. I designed it from scratch to the end, and a lot of people started contacting me. How did you do it? How did you do it? Because these are people without similar background, but because they see the value in what I did, they want to pay me to even teach them how to do. So it all depends on what kind of value you are putting up to the world or to the audience, and I assure you they will patronize you. And how fast, how soon depends on you. Okay, it all depends on you. How soon or how fast do you want it? You can escalate your methods. You can learn the right tools to actually do the actual marketing. Okay, there are tools you have to learn how to actually go about marketing yourselves and all that. Okay, for example, you could run a very simple free webinar to attract people to come and listen to you, and then later on you can grab all their email addresses and then start sending premium content. Or during that particular session, you can hook them up and tell them, if you want to know more about this from this point, you have to join me in my masterclass or something like that. Yeah, so it all depends, it all boils down to you. How much hunger do you have to actually fast track the process and get it done? It's possible, you can
That's it.
monetize.
Yes, definitely. Thank you so much. I like it when you mentioned that if you have something valuable to offer, actually you're ready to monetize. Okay, probably just work on your structure of delivery. As long as you have something that people want, something premium, something that add value to people, and you already showcase that through your testimonials or your own work, people can see that credibility. I guess people are willing to pay. Going on to Kia, just now you mentioned, okay, that basically is the impression you want to set to people so that they remember you in something that they might use you for another day. It's like, I want to say, it's like branding yourself to be a problem solver, right? So whenever people have a problem, people are gonna think, okay, she's gonna solve my problem. I'm gonna pay her whatever money because
Yeah,
she's gonna solve my problem. So Pia,
true.
this question is for you. So how can we monetize our personal brand, and how soon can we do that?
Of course, isn't that the idea, right? Isn't that the whole idea of personal branding, that eventually you want to monetize it? I see. I'll build up from what Dr. Rashid was saying. He has, very nicely touched upon how a funnel is built, right? How a digital sales funnel is built. So, when you have to monetize anything, is that it needs to follow something called as an SOP, a standard operating procedure. It needs to be standardized. Standardized. There needs to be a process, right? And you follow that process. Keep fine tuning that process, and that in itself is going to kind of build what you want to build. So the way I see it is that the personal branding process, if you want to divide it into two major parts, the first part would be, of course, defining your personal branding strategy, and the second part would be implementing it. So both go hand in hand. Um, I'll come to the timeline of this, but how we can monetize it, that once we know ourselves, once we know our objective, it's very important to define all these things, because um, till the time we don't define, we can't measure. Till the time we don't measure, it will not get done. And if it does not get done, it does not grow. Okay, so we need to know our objective. Need to know our goals, our targets, and really need to know the medium that we're using. And when we switch from the strategy to the implementation part, we need to build our identifiers. We need to claim the territories that we have defined for ourselves. We need to cultivate our relationships. We need to conserve our brand. And if there is one mantra that you want to know about how soon, it is like, the more responsive your plan is, the more adaptable and flexible it is, the more efficient your implementation is, the faster your monetization will be.
Thank you so much. There's a little bit of business advice as well on top of personal branding advice, which is excellent because people want to get leads, but they don't know how to maintain that relationship further. Because once you do something wrong, remember people are going to talk bad about you. So you're going to say, "Oh, I signed up for a program, but it was terrible. She didn't complete the program," so that can backfire you. And also, I think, Dr. Rashid, when you talk about value, most importantly, it's in our mindset. We cannot think, okay, what can I sell to this person? We need to say, how can I help this person? I think
True.
by that notation, it would be easier for us to get clients because we don't come across as somebody who wants their money so bad, but more so who wants to solve their problem so bad. Sonia, this question is to you now. How do you monetize? And I know you monetize quite soon, but as soon as you get on the personal branding program, Sonya is closing deals more than 30,000 US dollars. I want to know how you do that. And can you tell me how fast it was for you and how did you feel?
Yeah.
True.
Actually, I didn't did it on purpose. What I mean is, I didn't have an intention. I have to earn how much when I post the content. I think once I post my fifth post on LinkedIn after having the advice from Lisa, and then I already got one like inquiries on doing digital marketing like service, and I closed the deal just like within 2 weeks, and then I have another one inquiries come in. So what I think is I can't force it. It is not something that if I push harder, if I share more content, like spamming the others, I can get a lot of money. It's not working like that. But my strategy is doing great content marketing, which I share my story, which I share some clients' testimonial on my LinkedIn. This helps a lot. And what I think is, although we can't force it, we can't push it, but there are some tricks that we can accelerate the process. Just like we don't have to wait a year and then one night it happens. So what I have been doing is I connect with others and utilize the network. For example, I'm targeting on startup industry, and then I will connect with others, founders, co-founders of like some startup companies, no matter they're located in Malaysia, Hong Kong, or Singapore. They will have some network, and then maybe their friend is also an entrepreneur. Even though themselves they don't need the service, their friends may need it one day. So this is how I utilize the others network. And then it's also important to show your real character and also be authentic, because people don't want to do business with fake people, and also with people who just think about money, money all the time. So just share your expertise, be their friends, and give very authentic advice. And then I think you will get money very fast and get what you want. Yeah.
Thank you, Sonia. I also like that you mentioned leveraging on your first connection, which is your second
Yeah.
connection. So if I can't get business from my followers, I'm gonna
Yes.
ask them if they can get me business from their followers. So
Yeah.
that is definitely a step ahead, especially for a business mindset. Now we've come to nearly the end of this panel discussion. For those of you who joined us, feel free to watch the replay if you missed the first half. Leave some questions and tag the experts so they can come back and reply the comments later. We're now up to our last question, which is just before we say goodbye. I just want to ask you for one advice or that you want to share from your experience for everyone okay, to take action upon. So just one advice from each of the experts. Dr. Rashid, let's start with you.
All right. Experience, advice. Okay. You see, when we look at the current trend, how things are happening, we will kind of understand that our world have actually been turned about 360 degrees. What we find valuable in 2019 or 2018 or thereabout now is relatively orthodox, ancient or kind of irrelevant. A lot of things have changed. Okay, before it used to be more about what you know, or how much the courses you study in the school, or what kind of degree did you graduate with, you first class or you 2-1 or something like that. But now it's about what you can do with the little you know. So it's about what you can do. So it's high time we move ahead to update ourselves, to go into the challenging world and find what is it that we can do really with the little that we know. Okay, it's about the application of the knowledge. Okay, let's apply what you know and then try to solve problems, be it in your society, be it in anywhere, to be able to create a better world, to be able to create a better versions of ourselves. Okay, so it's all about learning soft skills. There's also the fear of coming of the robots. We were challenged recently that the robots are coming to take over jobs from humanity and all that. And you see some people trying to work hard to kind of outsmart. You see, we are learning techniques on how to outsmart the robots when they come. You cannot do that. All right. We just have to learn to work with them. All right. We have to learn to work with them when they come eventually. So the whole idea is to engage yourself in learning more of soft skills. That's my advice. We should concentrate on learning soft skills to be able to kind of directly connect what we learn to what problem we can solve. Okay, to always keep trying to go beyond the comfort zones and try as much as you can to update yourself with the recent happenings. Attend short courses here and there that will help you to solve your immediate problems, and at the same time work on your brand so you can become a better person, a better version of yourself, so people can see and emulate you and you can be a good example. That's the advice I have, Lisa.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rashid. I used to be a timid person, but I realized when you need connections to get ahead, I have to be a people person. Soft skills, communication, we have to upgrade and, be flexible so that we can accommodate to the new way of doing business. As you said, 2 years ago, it's totally different. People don't really need LinkedIn, but now people need it more than ever. So, Pia, about yourself, give us one key lesson from your experience or an advice that people can immediately adapt. That would be great.
Lisa, I made so many mistakes. It's so tough to give just one lesson. I learned few things the hard way, and I'll just try and capsule it together. I just needed to be myself, not who I thought people wanted to see. I knew my trade, but I did not up my game, my skills. I did not learn about how I can help my clients more efficiently. And that made me lose precious time. I'm an ambivert. Reaching out to people has been a weak spot for me. And I was recently told by a friend that, Pia, if you want something, you need to go out and ask for it. And I am sure you'll be seeing a meme very soon on that because he's making it. And I'm still processing that, right? So be yourself. Forget about what people are saying, forget about what they're thinking, forget about who do you want to be project to be, because it's all about yourself in the end. And if you want to be a better person, then develop yourself. There is nothing that you can show and that will sustain itself if you are not improving as a person. So I think what I want to say is exactly what Dr. Rashid was saying. You have to become a better version of yourself every day, day after day. So that will help.
Thank you so much, Pia. I do agree as well that I think, at some point you have to also ask for opportunities, especially if you know you're confident that you've been given value for so long. So this network has been lingering around you. So it is okay and decent enough for you to ask whether people can lead you to more businesses. Like Sonya did as well by contacting the founders who have connections in the entrepreneurship friendship. So, Sonia, what is your key lesson from your experience or any advice you would like to share?
From my own experience, I think doing experiments on your content is very helpful. For example, when I test out what is the likes, what is the reaction, what kind of people that I attract when I post personal content versus when I post business content. And then surprisingly, I attract more entrepreneur like network when I post personal content versus when I post what I do, what is my business, keep talking, because people love the connection. They love the human elements in the content. So, but not everyone the same, and I don't think there is a golden rule that applies all. So I think keep doing experiment and then understand more about your network is important, and it's very helpful.
Thank you. Thank you for mentioning that it's not a one size fit all. This template is
Yeah.
not applied for everybody. How Dr. Rashid does it, how Pia does it, how Sonia does it, it's not the same as how I do it. But at the end of the day, as long as you know your game, your connections well enough, you know the statistics to measure, you know how to tweak your strategy, you'll get ahead with your own style. So thank you so much everyone for contributing your time. I appreciate it so much. For those of you who's watching this video, don't forget to attend their free webinars on academy.com where you're going to learn more with them through 1 hour and you can also ask them direct questions. So whatever question you have, get in touch with them on LinkedIn or on academy.com. So here we say goodbye and thank you and have a nice day,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Liza. Take
Bye,
care.
guys.
Bye. Thank you so
Right.
much.
Thank
Right.
you.
Bye. Bye, Sonia.
See
Better
you.